Couch Time.
Welcome, guys.
I'm L.A. Parker.
I'm Valley Girl T.
And we are elated to have you back with us post-Thanksgiving. Today is
December the 3rd.
December the 3rd, 2 weeks before Christmas. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? First of all, let's give you our disclaimer. We are a psych, real life conversation show. And we're not here to give you any type of legal or medical advice, but we are here to give you the
real.
All right. We'll give you a little psych and Valley over here will break that down for you. We also have many components of our show. Today, we will be going over
the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
Those cowgirls. You know, we talked about this, right? They didn't do so well this past week. So we will also go over our movie critique of the week, which was Knives Out. All right. And then we will talk maybe a little bit more about relationships and family during the holidays. So stay tuned as we go more in depth on Couch Time.
Don't forget to tune in.
Welcome back to Couch Time. Today in the DFW area, we have very pleasant weather after all the highs and lows, all the cool air and the warm air, which is very nerve-wracking for some of us here because we know what that means with the cool and the warm air. Us being here in Texas in Tornado Alley, that's very scary. Nevertheless, it's been kind of comfortable. Today Dallas had a high of 66 here. And then we go back to our neighboring Louisiana and Baton Rouge. They actually had 63. And Chicago, up north, they had 42. It's always cold there, you know, especially this time of year. You don't want to be caught in Chicago, really, the windy city. And then in LA, very similar to the Dallas area, and they were at 63 degrees as well. So hopefully tomorrow will be as pleasant as this weekend. Again, we hope this weekend will be pleasant for you as well. And we will keep you updated on the weather here on the couch. Back to Tanya. Welcome back to Couch Time.
Welcome, guys.
And welcome to the Couch's movie critique. This week,
Knives Out is what we want to see.
You guys, I tell you, this was a murder mystery. Yes. Produced by Ryan Johnson.
Had some of those old school actresses. Not saying she's old, but she's very new. We always like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. She did her thing. She was really cool. Okay.
Also had Anna Armas. She was one of the main characters of the movie.
Yes. We had Chris Evans and Daniel Craig. Some of the movie depicts around a family that was quite wealthy due to the father, who was a writer, an author. Yes. He died right after his 85th birthday, and the family struggled to figure out why he died. It was concluded that he had committed suicide, and they just couldn't believe that. So I'm not going to give you all of the movie, but you know, it would have been a good read. Okay, it would have been a good read. I was expecting a little bit something different, but it was a typical murder mystery. I wouldn't give it the Couch Time throw.
Give the pillow.
But you know, this was a movie that I would have watched on Lifetime, to be honest, or Netflix.
That's what it reminds you of
Yes,
Lifetime.
yeah. But it was a good movie, and it was highly casted with some very iconic actresses. So,
But yeah, all in all, we'll give it a pillow.
give it a pillow. Number 5 out of 10. So next week we'll have another movie for you. So stay tuned. I'm LA.
I'm Valley Girl T.
This is Couch Time.
Tune in, guys.
on the couch, here to talk about those
Cowboys
and other little sporting events for you. First, before we get into those cowgirls that Valley so infamously loved, let's talk about
the Mavs.
the Mavs. Can you believe it?
The Mavs beat the
What?
Lakers.
What?
LeBron.
Yes. I didn't particularly.
Devastated.
Yeah, I can imagine. And the Dallas Mavericks have had a long journey come back from when they dismantled their team a couple of years ago, their championship team, and all of their iconic players dispersed all over the league. You know, you had J.J. Barrera,
I can't think of all.
of course Dirk,
Of course, the man Dirk,
Nick at
that's
Night,
retired now.
and you know, and they formed that nucleus to make their championship team, and it's been such, you know, I can say that Mark Cuban actually have paid the price. I mean, because it's been a long journey back, but to say that Dallas actually beat
The
LeBron,
Lakers.
what? So it was one of those big things. On the college circuit, we had Clemson against Alabama.
Okay.
Alabama. Auburn
Auburn.
against, yes, I'm sorry, Auburn against Alabama. And Auburn pulled it off. It was a very, very tight game, I have to say. Very tight game. In actuality, the punter actually hit the goal. Yeah, the first time that he has ever missed. And again, it was an awesome game. But congratulations to Auburn. And Alabama went all the way down to number 9.
Can you believe it? Alabama is number 1. You
Yeah.
know, everybody roots for Alabama.
Yeah, so you know you have LSU up there, and you have you have Auburn. So now I'm talking about them cowgirls.
Boys.
What happened?
Oh, they lost again. I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. It's just starting to get a little redundant.
Well, you know, the buzz. You know, I watching the game on Thanksgiving. The buzz was that with all of the coaching mistakes again, that you know maybe Dallas, maybe Jerry's World could possibly be looking at doing some coaching changes. That's the buzz, you know. Jerry later on stated that when he stated that he wasn't making those.
He wasn't about to make any changes.
Considering
but,
that.
Hey, you know, when the Cowboys fans talk,
It's
you know, they don't have to listen.
You know, so you know, I really do anticipate that if this season doesn't turn around really quickly, that maybe some changes. They're actually looking at a college head coach, and I believe that maybe a college head coach may be good for Jerry's World. And I say that because we know that Jerry has a very assertive approach.
He likes to be in the mix.
In control, okay? And so with that, when it's just like being in any other relationship. When you have a very dominant person in the relationship, you're going to have a subservient person in order to balance that out. So you need someone who's going to be good enough to get the job done, possibly, but someone who is submissive enough to listen to Jerry and follow his guidance versus vice versa.
Right.
A general manager, you would
run
think,
the team,
you
not
know,
you coming
well,
down
that
every time
as
and go, hey, what's
long-
going on?
right? As long as Jerry is there, I don't think that ever happen. Ever happen. That a coach will actually be able to do as he will and see fit with the Cowboys. But another day, another cow day on the ranch, should we say that? Right? Okay, next week we'll see what's going on in sports. Until then, I'm LA.
And I'm Valley Girl T.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Couch Time. Today, our Couch Time snack of the week is Louisiana Crunch. All right. Now, many of us have had a variety of different flavors of sweets, of cakes over the holidays. This here was quite awesome. You may want to look it up on Google it. It has a twist between, what was it you call
Suck
it?
it to me cake.
Yeah, it's like in a spice cake. So if you were to take a suck it to me cake and a spice cake and kind of combined it,
That's what you have.
that's what you would have. It would go very well with maybe a tea.
Or coffee if you're those coffee drinkers.
Yes. The ginger that you or the allspice that you taste in it is sort of that soothing, give you that winter feel, right?
So you want to pull up with
Cuddle up.
cast hat.
Let's
blanket.
have some of that Louisiana crunch, you know. So this, I give it, I don't know. I tell me what you think. Let's try.
Let's try it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll taste the ginger in it.
Mhm. I love glazed icing.
All right, give it a try.
Mhm. It also reminds me of a pumpkin.
That's another taste that's in there. So ginger, suck it to me, and a hint of pumpkin.
Yeah, just combine all that together and
It's very good, guys.
yes.
Try it.
So try Louisiana crunch cake, you guys, on the couch. Yes. You said you give it a throw.
I give it a throw.
Valerie gives it the throw.
What do you
Okay.
give?
You know, I'm a critique. You know, when it comes down to, I love sweets. So when it comes to sweets, yeah, you know, I'm really hard. I think that, I don't know, maybe it could be a little lighter moisture. I mean, it's not, but you know, I think that maybe after it sits, you know, a day or so, just like bread. But the flavor, I definitely give it the throw award. That's
good, guys. Try it.
Okay, yes. Next week, I don't know what we're gonna have. You got something up your sleeve?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. We'll have a surprise for you
Stay
guys.
tuned next week for the couch snack of the week, you guys. You know, take advantage of some of the things that we bring to you, and check it out on our website as well. All right. Next time on the couch.
Don't forget to tune in, guys. I'm Valley Girl.
And I'm LA.
Hey guys, welcome back to Couch Time.
Yes, this is the part of the show that we give you as promised. We give you the psychological components of different topics and different issues and different challenges. Whether you write in or whether you call in, you've inboxed us, or we just want to touch bases on some very relevant issues. And so today we'll be talking about seasonal depression. We'll be talking about what they call it, the holiday blues. So before we dive into that, let me give you our disclaimer. I am a PhD psych student, ABD, which means that I'm not able to give you medical or legal advice. However, I can give you information based on the DSM, which is the Psychology Bible, and we can also give you our perspective, our insight based on experience and education. So with that being said, let's get into it. So you know how people always talk about having those holiday blues? You know, they're real. Holiday blues are real. However, it is not a clinical term that is used. So it is not something that someone can go to the doctor for and get medicine or become diagnosed the holiday blues. It is real though. It is mimicked, or it coincides with basic or GD. GD is general depression. Okay, so it is also the term holiday blues. It actually comes from predated terminology. The word blues came from a way they defined, in a negative aspect, overwhelming sense of melancholia, okay? And so it was negative because the people would actually feel overly mellow because of the season. So that could have been because of the weather, could have been because of a lot of different things. However, remember that the holiday blues is situational, okay? So when I say that it's situational, it is based on situations. Traditionally, when people who have the holiday blues, it comes from something that they previously experienced in their life, something from the past. They have the holiday blues because
A death in the family.
a death in the family. They had a breakup this time last year. Someone had an accident. So it is based, the blues that they, or the depression that they are experiencing is really based on something else that they experienced. In contrast, let's talk about sad. Sad. Sad is actually a seasonal affective disorder. And the difference is because it's not actually situational. So it's not just based on something that you've experienced in your life. It's more of a biological biological condition. And it is a diagnosis that you can receive from your clinician and be treated for. So this seasonal affective disorder, actually, it is sometimes hereditary, but it is biological. So it can be caused by a chemical imbalance. And with that chemical imbalance, it does give other physical symptoms, the loss of appetite, including depression, low energy. And so the difference between having the blues and having sad, it merely is the time difference as well, because sad is something that traditionally goes from November all the way through like after New Year. So it's not just during the season. Typically when someone goes through the blues, they even say that it happens during the holiday season. But with sad, most of the time it actually is not even so much, the height of it is not during the season. The height of it is really after the season. So it's after the fact that they have maybe seen everybody get their presents and they didn't get one. So but it's not situational, and it doesn't have just a small time frame such as when a person is experiencing just the holiday blues. So what do you do when you or a loved one or someone that experience either whether they're having the holiday blues or whether they are experiencing a sad condition?
You could try to bring up something good, an experience that was good in their life,
Yes.
something to lift them up.
Direct their attention in a different area. Mm-hmm. Correct. Deflect.
Exactly.
So we want to deflect their attention to the positive versus the negative. This is a very, very, very hard time for a lot of people who have lost loved ones. So if they have lost a loved one, help them to remember the good things, the positive things, and less than the sorrow. Okay, these are the things that will help them not sink down so far into a depression. You also have keeping busy.
Mm-hmm.
you have you have to stay busy.
Give them stuff to do, invite them to go places.
Yes, yes. Isolation is the worst symptom and the worst treatment for any type of depression, whether it is a seasonal, such as holiday blues, or whether it is sad. Isolating is the worst thing. So if you see someone isolating themselves, they really should have been at the party, they're not there, they're not answering their phone, go tap on the door. Tap on the door. Because we know that it is the worst treatment, and it is the worst symptom. That when you see it, you have to address it. The biggest misconception is that it isn't real. And we cannot allow ourselves to think that a person is just going, they're just going through.
She's just being sensitive.
Yes. No. Depression is real. Mm-hmm. And even though myths say that the biggest time of the year for depression-based suicide is the holidays, that really is very controversial, because the biggest time is traditionally not during the holidays. Again, it's after the holidays. And that's after all of the hype has calmed down and people had a chance to really deal with their emotions. Behavioral health it deals with emotions, how a person is feeling, how they're thinking, and how they are actually processing information in their minds, how they're processing the inputs. That the inputs could be someone just giving them a hug. The inputs can be something someone said to them, but they're processing all of these inputs, and their cognitive functionalities is off because, again, there are behavioral health or their emotional health issues. Okay, so again, we have to take into consideration that they may not be thinking or processing information, emotions, ideas like you may have, or the regular person who may not be going through some type of behavioral health or some type of emotional health situation. So keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that children are different.
Oh yeah, they're closed in a lot of the time, so you really have to question them and look at them.
Gotta keep an eye out for children, because children do not process like adults do, because their cognitive functionalities have not developed to that degree. You also have to be very mindful of the elderly, because if the elderly suffer from conditions such as Alzheimer's or some type of other mental health issues such as dementia, then again, the way they're processing is going to be totally different as well. So we have to be mindful. Watch what you say. I know a lot of people like to use the term being real. Okay, being real can cost someone else dearly, and this is not the time. The time of the year that we want to be real at the cost of someone else.
That's right.
But what we do want to do, and that's across the board, we want to be respectful, and we want to have a positive attitude, exhibit the mood of the season. Mm-hmm. It's the holidays.
And think positive before you say stuff.
Oh, please, 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 please. If you are going through something, be conscious of you spreading your negative.
Mm-hmm. And just because you think, just an example, she should be married by now. How come you ain't married?
Gotta say it. It is not good to say everything that come out your mouth. Look, let's go to the real. All right, let's get to the real side.
Aunties.
Psych to the side. Everything that comes through your head should not come out your mouth.
Exactly.
Being real can have you real lonely. Yes.
That is a fact.
Yes. Why you gotta break it down? No. Some things should be left unsaid. Some things should be left unsaid.
Okay. Prejudging.
Yes. So we've talked about sad. Put that in your back pocket. Okay. Now let's break it really down. Let's talk about us who family who may be in relationships, married. How do you know who house to go over?
Which daddy side or the wife?
You got a mom and dad side, and then he has mom and dad side. How do you?
How do you alternate?
Yes. Don't allow these types of challenges to become arguments and sprout something else during the holiday season. If it becomes challenging, try this. Don't go over nobody's house.
Invite everybody to your house.
There you go.
That'll resolve that
Both
issue.
sides of the family come together and have one big holiday celebration. Or decide to go somewhere else for the holiday. Take a vacation. Take a cruise. Hey. You do something different. Do something different, okay? People who are used to your children, your family coming to your house, let's say that's not happening this year. Let's say the children goes to their in-law house this year, and they're not, and you're really feeling like an empty nester. That happens a lot. Post-divorce, post-empty nest, there's a lot of life changes that can cause a person to go into the dumps and slumps. Find yourself something to do.
You know that holiday's coming up, plan ahead.
Find yourself something to do outside of overspending, okay? Because that's just going to cause depression in the later. So we don't want to do that, okay?
That's right.
All right. Well, so we talked about sad. We talked about the holiday blues, and we talked about what you can do to avoid them. Your takeaways. Remember, stay busy, be positive. What you got?
And try not to be so real with people.
Spread some real joy.
Yes.
Can we spread some real holiday cheer? There's a lot of people who have different perspectives on the holiday.
That's right.
Keep it to yourself.
And there are those that don't even celebrate the holiday.
Yeah, I say keep it to yourself because if it's negative, keep it to yourself. Now, we here on the couch. We are unapologetically Christians. Hey.
That's right.
Not everyone shares our same belief, but we respect everyone's choice to choose their own belief systems. So for those who do not, no disrespect. For those who do, we say to exhibit the Spirit of Christ in this season. That means don't be acting devilish. Come on. Some people, yes, we Christians, but just God is more hell in them.
They will say
God
something
is more hell in them. You like, did that come?
So hurtful.
No.
You know those aunties?
Those aunties. Wait a minute, right? So look, from the couch, you guys, we really, really, really want you to have a happy holiday season. We have 2 more weeks, and we'll be bringing you next week more tips on handling your family, emotions, and love life during the holidays. Until then,
meet us on the couch.
And don't forget your throw. If you ain't got one,
y'all better get your orange in.
See you next week on Couch Time.
Bye, guys.
Couch Time with LA Parker. We have a message of hope, passion, truth, and love. Until next time, when life gets challenging, remember to press pause and reset.